Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode. I have something very special to share with you guys. If you know me and if you've been following me for quite some time, you'll know that I am passionate about money, mindset, and helping people succeed. If you've followed me on the Money Boss show, the video show, or the podcast, you'll know that I'm putting great content out there weekly to help people overcome their limiting beliefs, stop sabotaging, step into the power that you have inside, and start building your dream life. I fully believe everybody has what they need inside themselves to be successful. The problem is, as I mentioned, and I'm sure you know if you follow me, we aren't quite given all the pieces to the puzzle. And I think a few of the most important puzzle pieces aren't given to us in school and aren't taught to us by our parents. And it's not their fault. And a lot of this stuff, like self actualizing and pursuing careers that light you up and align with your strength, a lot of this is a pretty, call it first world problem, which I don't love saying, but also call it something that's very new. Finding and pursuing something that we do on a daily basis that we love is a luxury that we are afforded in 2024. So I am here to help you be the best version of yourself. Step into your power and really get your money mindset on par. Because how we do money is how we do everything. And I have been building businesses for 17 years now. I own two of the leading egg media outlets, an agriculture and a cottage one. And I built those from scratch. And during that time, I have learned a lot about business. I've learned a lot about mindset, and I've learned a lot about money. And in the last couple of years, I have been working with younger entrepreneurs and working with friends and family who are just frustrated with money. They spend too much, they can't save enough, they're not making it by, they sabotage themselves, or they don't want to spend, and it causes problems. They aren't willing to spend money to develop themselves. There's so many ways we can sabotage ourselves when it comes to money. So I've been coaching and giving people tools like budgets and money mindset and observing and seeing who implements, who does what, and watching the different ways that people relate to money in my life. Family, friends, different people you look at. And heck, look at movies and celebrities. There's so much out there about money mindset and conditioning that it's easy to sit back and observe a person's relationship with money, especially if they're close to us and we see them spending money. And maybe there are parents, our siblings, and here's a kicker, our spouse. How many relationship problems are caused by money? The root of it, we might not even realize that, but the root of it is most people are stressed financially. We haven't been taught how to save, how to deal with money, how to have a good relationship with money. And then you get two different people in a relationship doing life, trying to make it in a very expensive world. And when you don't have enough money, you don't feel good. When you don't feel good, you fight. When you fight, your relationships are not strong. And I know personally handfuls of people that have divorced because of money, and most of them spend the days bickering about money. So, needless to say, money is important. And I've been coaching and observing people and providing great tools and seeing some good results with the clients. But I couldn't help but realize that some people are just absolutely different when it comes to money. Kind of like, if you have siblings, you know what you're like and your personality. And then you look over at your siblings and you go, how am I even related to you? Personality types, right? If you've dove into any of the personality type systems like DISC, like Enneagram, like human design. There's a bunch of other ones. But if you have an appreciation of personality type systems, you're going to be blown away with what I'm about to share with you. Because believe it or not, we all have a money personality, a money archetype. And the way we are designed, our archetypes, when it comes to money, determines how we feel about money, whether we spend and save, whether we are more prone to being one or the other, our feelings about money, the importance we place on money or not. Believe it or not, there is a money personality, archetypes, a money DNA, a money blueprint that is deep inside of you that you don't even know. You just think you are how you are and you're buying stuff that because you like it and you're a spender or you're a saver, but you have a money archetype, just like you have a personality type. So if you've done any of the personality type systems and you love this stuff, you're going to love what I'm going to talk to you about today. Sacred money archetypes. When I learned about this, my 3 favorite things in life to deal with and talk about just naturally in conversation with my friends, my family, um, the 3 things, crazy enough, that I love talking about is money, personality types, and energy. And it's just literally been that way since I have been young. I've been super interested in money. And then finally, as I developed companies and I learned and I started budgeting and you interact with yourself and the way you spend and save money on a daily basis, I started to realize that I have a money personality type. And I looked at my siblings and go, wow, they spend money totally different. Like, why can't they just save money? I don't get it. Here we go. The missing key that absolutely blew my mind is there are sacred money archetypes, completely unique to you and myself and your spouse and your siblings and your parents. There's actually 8 money archetypes. And when I learned this, literally, guys, it blew my mind and all the pieces of my puzzle came together. And not only that, it put into words and feelings and structure what I had been learning with people that I worked with on money. I'd give them a budget and they'd continue doing the same old things, spending like they are a high roller on a minimum wage job. And it's clear, and you go through and you explain, but they just couldn't do it. And I couldn't understand. And then I learned that we have money personality. And the funny thing is, I'm familiar with a lot of the personality type systems, and that's been a key, absolute game changer in my professional careers and selling and interacting with people and learning about the people you're closest with. And myself, most importantly, let's start there. It all starts and ends with us and how we show up in the world and how self-aware we are, how much we know ourselves. That's the whole game of life, is getting to know ourselves, finding our strength, expressing our gifts. And here's the thing, whether we like it or not, money is a big part of our lives, right? I don't know about you. If you were born independently wealthy, like the richest people in the world, well, then maybe don't listen to this episode. Actually, no, that's not true. Listen to this episode because you still have a money personality. And regardless of how much you make, you can outspend how much you make. So I digress here. When I learned about the sacred money archetypes, my mind was absolutely blown. And it was like the key to the final lock that not only unlocked and put into words what I knew and felt and observed and learned about myself as a business owner for the last 17 years, And as a person doing life on planet Earth that needs a lot of money to just get by these days. So I've been interacting with my money personality for 42 years now, and then amplified as a business owner for 17 years, coaching, working with others. And when I learned these archetypes and got trained in them, it absolutely blew my mind. And then it was the final piece to tapping into my unique abilities. What is my gifts, my challenges, my money shadow side, my sacred money destiny? Why am I a saver here? Why do I feel this way? It all came together with Sacred Money Archetypes. So let me share a little bit about this. If you're watching this, pardon me, listening to this, and you've done the quiz, fantastic. I'm going to walk through the different archetypes and share a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses and the sacred money destiny. If you haven't done the quiz, it's a free quiz. And if you go to themoneybosscollective.co/quiz, or just go to the main website, which is linked everywhere you'll find my content. Go there and then just go find the quiz page, take the quiz, takes about 8 minutes. It's detailed questions, answer it truthfully with your first gut response. Don't think about it. Don't answer it how you want the answer to be. Just answer it how you are. Because if you fudge a system, you get fudged results. If you get fudged results, then you don't really know your true archetypes and you don't tap into the power of discovering your true archetypes, the good side and the bad side, air quotes. So do the quiz if you haven't already done it. If you've done the quiz, you'll know it was pretty detailed and darn accurate. When I went through and got it, I said, "Oh, well, that makes sense." And I read through my top three. And I'm like, well, that makes sense because I already knew a lot about my personality from different systems. And again, interacting with myself for 42 years. So when I got it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then I dove in and really studied each of the archetypes, mainly the top three, which are the ones that matter. And oh my goodness, did I have some big game changing moves. So let's dive in. There are 8 money archetypes. And this is a system put together, thoroughly tested, and proven accurate. When you do the quiz, you're going to go through and then you're going to finish. You're going to be emailed your results. And what you need to look for is your top 3 highest rated archetypes. So by answering the questions, it's going to be tallied up in our quiz system. And then behind the scenes, it does the math and it gives a score for how many points you get for each of the archetype. And that's how we weigh out what your tendencies are and which archetype you fall under. And for the purpose of the sacred money archetypes, discovering, learning, implementing, and creating a plan to tap into your money strengths, we care about the top 3. And at the end of the day, the number 1 archetype is the one we focus on. Your next 2 to create the top 3 are important. Number 2 and 3 really help determine. They're really right there along with your top tendencies and your top archetype. But the top one is the one that you lead with. And if you've done the quiz and it comes out that you're tied for any of those top 3 spots. So for example, when I did it, well, here, let me step back. Let's go over the archetypes really quick, and then I'll tell you how to do a tiebreaker. So as I mentioned, there are 8 money archetypes, and they are the ruler, the accumulator, the maverick, the nurturer, the connector, the celebrity, the alchemist, and the romantic. Don't those sound magical? It's quite amazing. So my top three that I had compiled at the end of doing the quiz is the ruler, the accumulator, and the maverick. And here's the thing, I had a tie for number one between ruler and accumulator. So when you go through the quiz, and if you have a tie for any of those top three spots, you're going to ask yourself the tie breaking question. And that is, which of these archetypes between the two that are tied, same score, which of these two archetypes is better going to move me towards financial freedom? So for myself, the ruler and accumulator were top two. And because I am here building my empire, the Money Boss Collective, which is the role of the ruler, we're the inner empire builder, and the accumulators, the inner banker. Because I'm in a phase where I'm building an empire again, the Money Boss Collective, teaching people about their financial power and how to step into it, I answered that the ruler is better going to move me towards financial freedom, because building this platform and helping others tap in to their money gifts, stop overspending, take control of their financial destiny. By helping others, you can create products and services that sell and you financially benefit. At this point, the accumulator and hoarding money is not going to help me as much. And I've had periods in my life, and I still am a money hoarder and I like to save. But I've had periods in my life where the accumulator probably would have moved me towards financial freedom. And I've probably come out of one of those periods too, because I have saved a nice nest egg in case of the good old rainy day, right? I have something saved there. But the point I'm at in my life, the ruler is going to move me towards my financial freedom quicker, better than the accumulator will. So if you have a tie, ask yourself that question: which of these two money archetypes will better move me towards financial freedom? And then you'll have your answer. You'll know. So there we go. That is the Sacred Money Archetypes. Guys, I am just absolutely blown away. This just unlocked the key to money for me. And money has been on my brain literally since the day I was born. I'm being dramatic, and it's not a greedy thing, but I've just always felt that I've wanted to make money, that I've wanted to save. I've looked around and I wanted to be financially independent without a spouse. I didn't want anybody supporting me. I was going to pay my way in life and not be dependent on anybody, not be controlled by anybody financially. I just wasn't going to have it. And I set out and I did that. And I've learned and I've developed tools and I've worked with people. But the final piece of the puzzle is the money archetypes. Because once we understand who we are, our strengths, weaknesses, air quotes, and what our sacred money destiny is, we can actually start to unlock who we are, work on our strength, get our weaknesses under control, and use the knowledge about who we are and how we relate to money to activate our strength. And especially if we're going to be in business, your money personality really coincides closely with a lot of the other personality types. And your personality type, like it or not, actually goes hand in hand with the type of business that you'll be most happy in. And don't get me wrong, let's make these disclaimers here before I dive into each of the archetypes and go through them a little bit more for you. Each of the money archetypes can make money. When you listen through and hear them, and once you do the quiz and have yours, you might be like, oh no, but I want to be this one. don't want to be something else. And isn't that the lesson of life? When we actually step into who we are and release that and accept ourselves and start aligning our money and our actions and our core values and our business with how we feel about money and who we are, then you start to hit the sweet spot. So, going back, all of the archetypes are equally able to make money, spend money, build a successful business, be profitable, and just really build the life of the dreams with the support of money. So don't go, I want to be. Guys, that's our biggest lesson in life. And isn't it a hard one? We look around and we're told that we are supposed to look like this. We get the feeling that we're supposed to be extroverted when we're introverted. We want to be the person on the stage giving a speech, and we all can be. But you might be like, I want to gather people and nurture people. I want to have groups, small, intimate groups. I don't want to be on the stage. Guess what? A lot of that is personality based. And a lot of that goes in with the sacred money archetypes. And if we know, isn't knowledge and awareness just key? Once we understand ourselves, oh my gosh, guys, how many times I did DISC assessment tool when I was in sales. They taught me that as sales training for one of my jobs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because as we grow up, there's a lot of judging and stereotyping and shaming for not being how people want us to be. The school system wants us to be this way. Our parents might want us to be like them or like our spouse. There's so much in life. TV tells you you should be this way, you should look this way, you should want this, etc., etc. There is so much in life that tells you how you ought to be, and very little that teaches you about who you actually are. I was fortunate to step into personality types because of roles. And, when I did that first one, literally, I just almost melted in my chair because I'm a ruler, a maverick, accumulator. And of course, I'm different than everybody that's around me, right? I'm made that way. We're all made perfectly unique to who we are and what our destinies are. I believe that. So, when I was going through life, I was maybe, I guess, not so much told, but you just observe and feel like maybe you're too much. I'm too loud. I cared about money too much. I was too driven. I wanted to be successful. Too much, too much, too much, not enough nurture, etc., etc. So we all, goodness gracious, through the experiences we have, take on who we should be. And then, unfortunately, at the same time, nobody in school is teaching us personality types and helping us dive into our money archetypes so that we can learn how to work with our personal money relationship and develop a healthy one. Heaven forbid they should actually do that. Wouldn't that be a little bit valuable? Wow. I have my own thoughts on that, but we'll leave that for another day, another podcast. But where I was going with that, the first time I did a money personality system, literally, and I can feel it right now, I got the results and my shoulders dropped. And then I read about the personality types. I'm like, oh, the way I feel is a personality type. The way I am is a personality type. And then there's this one and this one and this one. And oh, I think my mom's this one and this person's this one. And then you start to go, oh, I'm not broken. And the funny thing is, I have good self confidence, but it's pretty hard to get through this world and all the messages that's blasted at us telling us that we should be this way, that if we're not, we're wrong. Gosh, you got to have good self-confidence to get through this world. But I do believe we develop this baggage about our personality and the shame. And with the lack of support and training on who we are and how to actually manage money, man, it is a tornado of a shitstorm of shame And denial and lack of knowledge, pardon the French, but isn't that the truth? So, the power within these sacred money archetypes, you're going to go, oh, I'm a ruler. That's why I think about money all the time. That's why I'm okay sitting down and working on my business at the expense of going to the beach with my friends because I'm trying to build something to make myself financially stable. And if I sacrifice a weekend camping or a day at the beach doing the fun stuff, I'm going to build financial security. And that's the way I think. Or a nurturer, and we'll go into these right away. If you're a nurturer and you're always nurturing and giving, and then you end up giving people money because that's how you express your love and support people, but then you start feeling taken advantage of. And you're like, well, why am I a doormat? This is absolutely horrible. People take advantage of me. But the problem is, you're a beautiful nurturer that cares and you try and support people. So instead of realizing the beauty in your archetype, you shame yourself, right? So let's dive in. My goodness, this stuff, guys, is mind blowing. And if you haven't taken the quiz, I'll do a shout out, the moneybosscollective.co. Go there, go through the quiz, you'll get the results, listen to this podcast again, and just soak it up. And if you want to learn more, there's ways you can do it. I highly recommend it. I've made depending when you're listening to this, some cost-effective options to just help you figure this out, guys. Honestly, I spent 42 years of my life caring about money, trying to be financially independent as a woman. So I didn't have to rely on a man or be controlled by a man. I'm not a feminist, but that's my one feminist part. I wanted to be self-sufficient. I wanted to pay my way. I wanted to know that I'd be okay no matter what comes in life, right? So do the quiz, get your results, listen to this podcast again, and go to the website and check out the options we have. There's some cheap options to learn a little bit more and really help you learn and uncover this. At the end of the day, guys, we spend so much money frivolously. I cannot say that because it might be our archetype. And then because we don't know about our spending habits, we don't know how to control them, we put ourselves in debt. Put ourselves in debt that causes fear, shame. And then if you have a spouse shaming you for the debt you're in, for the spending that you're doing, causes relationship stress, right? I'm just so passionate about this. I've just seen so much in my life where people are controlled by money that that live lives a quiet desperation because we're not taught about money and our archetypes, and people that are controlled by others because of money. So to me, that's not okay. It's not okay. So do the quiz, get your results, re-listen to this, and check out the other information we have on the website, different ways to learn more about the archetypes. You know, the Visa commercial? I honestly feel that this information is priceless, and I give a lot of it out for free. You go do the quiz, listen to this, you're getting a full run through. This stuff is the information. I sound like a broken record in most of my episodes. I blame the school system for not teaching us. And it's disappointing. But here we are. And heck, I think this is my sacred money destiny. And if I follow the sacred money archetypes, it is my destiny. How brilliant is that? So let's talk about the archetypes. We're going to go through, I'm going to tell you about who you are, what the archetype is, that main core feeling and theme. And then we're going to talk about the strengths and we're going to talk about the challenges of each one. Taking a quick sip of water here before we get going. So let's start with the ruler. And that is, as I mentioned, my top archetype. So the ruler is the inner empire builder. They are courageous, visionary, determined. The gifts that they have are creating an empire where everyone thrives. Pardon me. And the whole theme of the empire builder, obviously, is building an empire, building a business that helps others, innovating new and exciting growth opportunities. We're decisive, we create value. The challenge is we can be obsessive about money and business. We're more than happy to put off life in the name of building something that we feel is going to keep us financially strong in the future. And one of the big problems is because we're motivated by the challenge of building an empire and helping others, and we just thoroughly love money in business, we're always chasing a moving target, right? You reach a sales goal, and if you're a ruler, you'll relate. Is enough ever enough? No, it's not, unfortunately. And that's a terrible way to be because you're always feeling unfulfilled. It's beautiful because it keeps you going, keeps you working, keeps you building, which done right should build financial freedom and your empire. But sometimes it leaves us feeling burned out, unfulfilled, and like we're not enough because it's never enough, right? So that is the ruler, the inner empire builder, and the sacred money contract for the ruler is to innovate, achieve, and empower wealth with grace and ease. Perfect. Let's move on to the accumulator, the inner banker. You are trustworthy, you are disciplined, and you are cautious with money, right? Of course, the inner banker, the accumulator, the name gives it away. Your gifts are you're great at saving. You create financial independence. You're financially responsible and you usually live below your means fairly easily. The problem is the opposite of every trait, right? Being cautious and saving and living below your means is on a sliding scale. Well, that's very healthy, and you don't put yourself in debt and you don't spend like a millionaire on a minimum wage budget. The problem is you often have an inner battle with money. You also feel that it's not enough and you're scared there's going to be a crisis and you're going to lose it all. So you are often never at peace with money, right? Because that's your thing. It's your inner banker. You can tend to hoard money. It's never enough. So you have that balance of being a fantastic saver, but sometimes it's at the cost of peace because you don't feel you have enough. What if the next crisis comes? And you often feel guilty about investing. Or another personality type, a money archetype, might just invest on a whim and buy every single program that comes. You don't want to put that money out because you're not sure if it's actually going to be a wise investment or pay itself back. So that is the inner banker. The maverick, you are the inner rebel with a cause. So these are I call them the gamblers. They are often very comfortable with big financial transactions. They're often comfortable being out there and being with money and business and development in a big way. They're clever, flamboyant, charismatic. Their gifts, they're very good at structuring complex deals that are very financially involved. They pay attention to numbers and they're really good with financial details. And the great thing is they are okay with taking risks. They're probably, I would say, one of the best personalities and best, forget that word, but one of the personalities that take risks the easiest. But here's the problem. Now, the challenge, as we all know, a good thing can be a bad thing in too much either direction. So the challenge is they can be secretive and there's a potential for deception. They keep their cards close to themselves. Probably the competitiveness. They don't want people to know, maybe don't want people to take that opportunity. But here's the main one. They gamble with financial security. So I almost look at them if they were at a casino. The accumulator would be sitting at a table and just having one of the free drinks and maybe playing the dime machine like I did when I went to Vegas. These guys, they're probably at the blackjack table or the big table, betting everything in their pocket because they're okay with financial risk. And now part of that is it goes a bit hand in hand. They're an archetype, the maverick, that likes being approved of. They're often looking to win approval from people. So that's a maverick. The nurturer. This one's called the inner sponsor, but I just really say it's the inner nurturer. This is your person that is, I like to think of it as that mom. They're there to take care of people. They're always worried about people. They think about people before themselves. Their strengths are they're giving, they're devoted, they're reliable. They are very generous. They have amazing loyalty. So they're the ones that'll just really give the shirt off their back. But the challenge is, as that person that naturally, that beautiful personality that naturally feels they want to give, they naturally feel they need to rescue people, like it's their responsibility. And because they're so wrapped up in always looking at others and looking to help others, they often abandon themselves and their money security and their maybe even career because they're so wrapped up in everybody else's life and details and problems and adventures. And the bad thing is, as we know, as people and business people, what you focus on is what grows. So if you're always focused on everybody else and their problems and helping them with their opportunities or businesses financially and time-wise, what's going on in your life? It's beautiful that you're a nurturer, but you're abandoning yourself. And the worst part, when you do that, because you're a person that will give, and then often people take advantage of that. They don't pay you back when you give them money. Or when you give them money. They don't pay you back. Or they don't appreciate it. Or they take it for granted. And guess what? That leaves you feeling resentful. After everything you do to help others, that's how they pay you back. And then you feel resentful. So such a beautiful personality. And just like every one of them, can you see where our strengths and our gifts are amazing? But like any trait in life, too much of a good thing is not a good thing. Because if you're giving too much and giving, you put yourself in a bad situation. And then when you put yourself in a bad situation, you're worried, you're scared, you're fearful, and you resent others. That's the nurturer. The connector. You are the inner relationship creator. So your strengths are trusting, innocent, pardon me, and resilient. Your gifts. And again, this is a middle ground where it's a great thing. You're not overly stressed about money. You have a faith and optimism that it'll work out, and it often does. You often get money when you need it, and money's flowing for you all the time. But you don't feel like you need to care about it. You don't stress about it. So the challenge is the lack of financial independence because you're like, money, who cares? Whatever. You're just wired that way, right? That means that somebody's taking care of your money or not. It could lead to debt, or it could lead to being in a relationship where your spouse takes care of it. And that's amazing. But the challenge is are you relying on somebody else for money? Is there, and I'm speaking from the ruler here. Are you relying on somebody else for your financial independence? That is the challenge. And often when that happens, that's great, but you're going to feel that you're not empowered with money. You might resent feeling controlled by others because they take care of the money. And the challenge with the connector, because they just really don't care about money, and it's not their thing, man. Like, just somebody take care of these details, pay the bills, make sure we have food in the kitchen, in the fridge. You often feel overwhelmed with basic financial details. So that leaves you not wanting to dig into a budget, not wanting to review your bank statements, not wanting to just grab your financial future by the horns because, heck, money's not that important. Let's not stress about it. It will all work out. So that's the creator. Next on the list is the celebrity. You are the inner big shot. So, as I say this, you'll probably know if you're one, or if you're listening to this and you're going, oh boy, yep, I know those people. These are the people that are magnetic, confident, radiant. Their gifts are leadership, helping others make a great impression, standing out in a crowd. They're your butterflies, the center of attention, those individuals. That's your inner celebrity. But the problem is with this personality, not problem, sorry, challenges, guys. Um, because you like the attention, because you like attracting five-star people and experiences, you often love to have the bling. You want to set an appearance, the Joneses. So the celebrity is often the one with the designer bags. They're very concerned about their image and how others perceive them. That's the celebrity, the inner big shot. So what happens though, on the flip side of those traits, the challenges is compulsive spending. They want to be the big shot. They want to look like they have money. They want to look like they're successful. And that often involves spending to have those brand name items, the brand name vehicles. Looking like you're the five-star person doesn't come cheap. So you compulsively spend, you value status above financial security. So as long as you look good, feel good, and others perceive you to be successful, the challenge is you don't necessarily care what's in your bank or if the bank balance matches the perception that you're putting out there. So the problem with that is you can spend yourself into debt. And the problem with that, as we all know, when we open up the credit card bill, it doesn't feel good if our income does not match our spending. So with the inner big shot, there's a sacred money destiny to accumulate wealth while being admired and valued in the world. Next is the alchemist, the inner idealist. So their strengths are their ideas, both of those. So these individuals are usually the ones that come up with amazing business ideas. They are transformational, they're daring, they always have an abundance of ideas. And they're often the person that are out on the front lines of movements and causes. They're championing others. They're seeing possibilities for a better world, pardon me. So the individuals that are making movements, the cause leaders, like the ones that make environmental movements, they're trying to see the possibility of a better, more environmentally friendly world. The individuals that are creating non-for-profits to help battered women, abused children, they see the possibilities of a better world. They have ideas and they're very idealistic about how the world operates. So the problem is they have the blessing is they are actually naturally very creative and have a lot of ideas when it comes to making money. But the problem is there's so many ideas that they often don't work on implementing any of them because they can be overwhelming, that many ideas. And because the alchemist is very idealistic and movement oriented, they're often that um, underdog supporter. So, very often they have a very mixed relationship with money. They know the power that money has, and they often resent it. They look at the big corporations that they feel are taking advantage of the little guy, of the worker, of the environment, of the wildlife. So, they hate money because of the big corporations, but they also know the power of money. So the challenges are they end up not implementing their ideas and having such a mixed relationship with money that they don't want to make it. They think it's bad. They push it away. They know they need money for their cause and to make a difference, but they don't have time, and they often repel money because they have such a love-hate relationship with it. So that is the alchemist. And their sacred money contract is to transform ideas into financial success. All those beautiful ideas, pick one and then work on it. Because when you can create money, you actually have financial backing to make your movement successful and make a difference. Because we all know if we want to do anything in life, if we want to feed the poor, we got to buy food. So that either comes from other people and or having your own healthy financial backing to make the beautiful movement and difference that you want to make in life. So the last one is the romantic, the inner hedonist. And this is a person that just enjoys money. They spend money because they feel they deserve it and they want to indulge themselves and the people they care about. So their strengths are they like luxury. They love great experiences that feel good, rich chocolate, rich food, probably beautiful vehicles, and those elite luxury experiences. That rich feeling that makes them feel pleasure. Their gifts, believe it or not, they always feel there will be more money. They're not necessarily the first to want to create or care about money. They're like, there's always enough. They're very generous with their friends and family, and they enjoy the things that money can buy, right? The problem on the flip side, going to the challenges of this personality, because they enjoy the finer things in life and pleasure, we all know that good things and good times cost money, but they don't necessarily care so much about where that money's coming from and if they have enough. So the lifestyle of the romantic and the inner hedonist, the let's do this, I deserve this, is it often causes flamboyant spending. They really just think money's going to show up and there'll always be enough. So they avoid anything to do with financing. Budgeting, why budget? There's money in my account, it's all gonna work out. And the part about this sacred money archetype is they often are spending money to mask feelings of being undeserving, unappreciated, or unloved. And their sacred money archetype is to create financial security while living life to its fullest. And I want to just go back quickly. Now that we went through, I'm sure you're seeing, if you've done the quiz, you'll be looking at your top 3 and listening and going, oh, that makes sense. I relate to that. Or maybe you don't so much. A lot of people, they don't really pay attention to their money, spending, income, habits, feelings, actions. For a lot of people, this is very confirming. And that drop your shoulders moment, like, I'm not broken. I thought I just spend compulsively because I just don't have any knowledge. But meanwhile, you're a romantic. Here's the things that are important to you, right? So let's go through really quick because I named a few of the sacred money archetype contracts, but I forgot them for a few of them. So the ruler, their sacred money contract, this is their mission when they are moving into their money personality and working on their strengths and weaknesses. Their sacred money contract in this lifetime is to innovate, achieve, and empower wealth with grace and ease. The accumulator, as we know, the inner banker, is to respect the power of money by investing to create freedom. So, that course that you want to take for money management or how to monetize your ideas, it may cost $1,000. But if you take it and you can start selling your knowledge and your experience or some products, that's how you're going to create financial freedom much quicker than stashing tens and 20s in the bank, right? The inner banker, that's amazing because it keeps you safe. But we got to loosen the grip on money, knowing that if we want to make money, it takes money to make money, right? The maverick, their sacred money contract to balance extreme risk with financial security. So, yes, we know you're good at being out there taking on big deals, but it's equally important to have some money in the bank to make sure that you're not at the blackjack table betting the house, the home, your firstborn, and the dog. I joke. The Maverick is one of my top 3 sacred money archetypes. And I think because it's my third one, it is leveled out by my ruler, who's steady and very much eye on the money. And then number 2, my accumulator. So my accumulator keeps my Maverick in line. And I don't know, if I didn't have the accumulator, I'd definitely be out there and more okay with spending money or gambling it all in the sake of a potential big win. So it's interesting when you look at your top personality and then your second and your third. How do they work together? How do they balance out? So that's the maverick, to balance extreme risks with financial security. The nurturer. Your sacred money contract is to care for others by empowering oneself. So, how can you take care of others, but make sure that it's not going to make you feel, pardon me, resentful or put you in a position where you're jeopardizing your own finances? So, your sacred money contract is to care for others by empowering oneself. The connector, your sacred money contract is to empower financial independence through the value of relationships. You are brilliant at having relationships and creating them. And most of the time, those people are so thankful by you connecting them to others and just being such a great support that if you ask them for money and charge them appropriately for whatever service or product you're providing, people are more than happy to pay you back financially. You don't have to be the connector of people and ideas and things and happenings for free. Your contract is to empower financial independence through the value of relationships. Pretty amazing, eh? Celebrity. Your sacred money contract is to accumulate wealth while being admired and valued in the world. So here's the thing. You are great at spending, as we know, right? You want people to see you in a certain way, and you spend to make sure they see you that way. But here's the thing. If you can accumulate wealth and keep some money in the bank, that's going to prevent that cycle of shame and feeling poorly, where you're going to go out and want to buy that purse to feel good about yourself and get the validation from others. It's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your goal is to start creating and accumulating wealth so that you can feel fulfilled internally, and then at the same time appreciate being admired and valued in the world by others. The alchemist, your sacred money contract to transform ideas into financial success. As I mentioned, I covered yours at the end of your section. You really are gifted with ideas. and you have a lovely flow of money. Money comes in and out for you quite easily, actually. Your challenge is to work on your relationship with money. It's not a bad thing. Money is just an amplifier. If you're a good person doing good things and then you get money, you're going to be a good person with money doing great things at a bigger level. So take one of your ideas that will impact the most, that'll help you make money, and transform that into financial success. Because the more money you have, unfortunately, in this world, unfortunately, the more money you have, the bigger difference you can make without relying on others to help support your cause. And the romantic. We covered yours and we'll cover it again. Your sacred money contract to create financial security while living life to its fullest. And very similar, I guess, to some of the comments I made with the alchemist. Instead of spending it all and trusting that it's going to be there, money's going to be there whenever you need it, and then getting that bank statement with all those beautiful experiences that you've kindly treated yourself, your friends, and your family to. Your sacred money contract is to create financial security while living life to the fullest. And here's the thing. When you can get some money in the bank and know that you're okay and not living paycheck to paycheck, again, you're not relying on others for that validation that you're providing by paying for great experiences. It's a little two-sided, right? You're doing it because that's what you love to do, but you also a bit want to impress others and feel fulfilled and admired and appreciated by others. So if you can get some money in the bank, you're going to start to feel better and not go through that shame cycle of going, oh my goodness, I had money and I spent it all. So again, your sacred money contract to create financial security while living life to the fullest. Isn't that beautiful? And that's just a quick overview. Well, a medium overview of the sacred money archetypes. And I think we covered it all. There's just so much power in here, guys. And if you're listening to the end and you're interested in this, there are so many different ways that you can learn about the sacred money archetypes. We have mini workshops, depending when you're listening to this. I hope to have more in-depth workshops. You can do sacred money archetype readings where it's a one-on-one and you do the quiz and we figure out your top 3 and I give you a reading and we really go deep into the strengths, the weaknesses, deeper than we just did, and really help you work on those strengths and weaknesses so you can start being financially secure and stepping into your financial power. So we have the mini workshop, we'll have other workshops, we have reading, and then there's coaching to go even deeper. So if you want to work together, there's so many ways that we can do it. And guys, this has changed my life. Honestly, we all like to think that the latest gadget, the latest manifesting technique, tapping our toes 3 times, getting this crystal is going to make us financially secure and abundant. And the problem is there is really no shortcuts. And that's what drives me crazy about this money world, about social media, about coaching, about courses. Everybody's trying to sell you the one-stop shop, the quick, the fun. I mean, who doesn't want to manifest wealth? And that's not the full story. That's one part of 3 that goes into making wealth. And at the top of that all, knowing who you are, your sacred money archetypes, is the foundation. I think of it as building a house. If you're going to build a house, you want a strong foundation. That's most important, right? So you're not going to build your walls and your roof and then just start moving all your stuff in on a base of sand. And then the next one, you're not going to build it on mud. You're going to build it on a concrete pad. That is your strong foundation. Then you build the walls, you put the roof on, you move in, and you're on a solid foundation. The same goes for money, mindset, making money, spending money. You need a strong foundation. Who are you? What is your sacred money archetypes? What are your strengths, your weaknesses, your natural tendency? How does it feel good for you to make money? That's your foundation. When you know that, you lay that foundation and go, I'm a ruler, and this is what I want to do. I'm a connector, and wow, I'm great at connecting. So maybe I should do workshops, masterminds. It all goes hand in hand. But unfortunately, nobody teaches us this. And we're starting to build the house with the roof and then the walls on a muddy base. That's what this world has really come down to, in the fact that nobody starts from the foundation. And it might not be the sexiest, because man, doesn't manifesting by turning around 3 times and putting the right rock on your forehead. I digress. Manifesting is important and it is real, but it is not as important as knowing your sacred money archetypes. That's a foundation, that's a base. That's going to just quickly help you hone in to what's important. And then when you start having that solid concrete pad, you start putting up the walls. What are my beliefs? I'm going to take this course. I'm going to start building a business. I put the roof on the house. And then it's all being built on this solid foundation. What do you guys think? This has changed my life, and I know it'll change yours. If you want to learn more, go to the sacred money. Go to the moneybosscollective.co/quiz. If you haven't taken the quiz, take that, come back, listen to this. It's in depth. I want to give you a lot of free information to really just get a quick start, quick understanding, and just know you're not broken, hun. You're not broken. You are divinely made exactly who you are. And even before learning this, I was already starting to tap into the world and how it works and the way I think it all works. I was already starting to tap into the fact that I believe we come here with a sacred gift and a baggage. We come here with talent and challenges, gifts and baggage. Because why? How fun would that be if we just got gifts, right? There'd be no challenge. There's no hero's journey. It'd all be easy and fun. But I think we're divinely made how we are, with our archetypes and our personality, the way we interact with money, the way we are introverted, extroverted. I believe we're given a little gift. It's like a treasure chest inside of us. And when we open that up, you go, oh, this is what I'm destined to do. But here's the challenges that you need to work on to accomplish that. Because by overcoming those challenges, figuring out who you are, shedding the false belief, stepping into who you are, your sacred money archetypes, and how you're destined to make money, I fully believe that is our mission in life. And that is the way to start a strong foundation. And the rest comes from there. We build the house from the strong concrete pad up, right? So once again, the sacred money archetypes, take the free quiz, come back here, listen to this. You'll have a great idea of what it's all about. And then if you want to go deeper, we have a lot of ways to do that. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I want to know what your main takeaways are. Are you surprised about your archetypes or not? Did we give you some information here that helped put the puzzle pieces together? I sure hope so, because I know when I started learning this, just from the quiz and the basic information I got, my life was already starting to change. And that is my plan. And guess what? That's my sacred money destiny, is to help you tap into your money gifts, overcome your challenges, stop sabotaging yourself, step into your personal power, and transform your money relationship. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.